DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. A question that I get asked by players is, how do I develop the killer instinct on the court? Or how do I develop that dominant mentality that allows me to take over and dominate basketball games? What should I do? How do I get that mentality? How do I get it to happen to me in a game? This is it. First thing that I would tell players, because this is not really a how-to, as if I say, all right, if you think about this or you read this magazine or you listen to this song, all of a sudden you're just going to have killer instinct and you could do that every single day whenever you feel like it. It doesn't happen like that, and it's not that simple, but it is easy. It's not easy. It's not that easy, but it is simple. Rather, it's a better way to put it. First thing I would tell all you players to do is check out a book on my basketball player recommended reading list. That is on my website, DreAllDay.com, under the guides and tips section. There's a link that says recommended reading list. There are a bunch of books on there. One of them is called Relentless. It's by Tim Grover. He was a trainer to Michael Jordan. He trains Kobe, trained Dwayne Wade, and a bunch of other basketball players. He talks in that book about the killer instinct. He calls it the dark side. And the book is not going to make you have killer instinct. Let me be clear about that. The book is not the key to your dreams. All right, the key to all of you guys' dreams is yourself. All right, the key to your dreams is in the mirror. So I want to make sure that y'all don't go run to the book and then say, oh, well, I read the book and I didn't get killer instinct. What's wrong? No, that's not how it works. If it was that simple, a lot of things would be different in life, right? That book, he talks about the dark side, about unleashing the killer instinct. So it's a primer for all you to kind of understand what it is and how it works. And he does a really good job of breaking it down. That's the first thing you need to do. And here's the second thing. For you have played basketball before. If you're asking about the killer instinct, then obviously you've played before, so you know what it feels like to have it. You probably have had it at some times. You might have got it in some moment in some game. And you're like, damn, if I could play like that all the time, I'd be fantastic. That happens to all players. So here's the thing. You need to go back to a time that you played at your highest level, where mentally you were just sharp, you were on point, whatever that is for you. And it's different for everybody. Whatever moment that was, whatever day, whatever week, whatever season, whatever game, when you just got into that zone mentally where you were right there and you're like, damn, if I could just bottle up this energy, this mentality, this feeling, I'd be the greatest player in history. Think of that moment. Think of when that was. That's the first step. So think of when that moment was and really think about it. Think deep about it until you start to kind of feel like you felt at that moment. So you start to feel how you were feeling. So you start to see what you were seeing. You think what you were thinking. Whatever was going on in your mind, or if nothing was going on in your mind, get into that state. And once you get into that state, what you need to do is think of what are the things that led to you getting there. What were the triggers in neuro-linguistic programming? They call those triggers. What are the things that happened in your environment that led to you getting there? And those could be internal or external. Internal being like something that you thought, maybe is like a song that was stuck in your head, maybe it's some picture that you saw, maybe it's a video that you watched. It could be anything. Those are internal because they're stuff that are recalled from your mind. Or it could be something external. Maybe somebody said something to you. Maybe somebody touched you in a certain way. Maybe somebody bumped into you. Maybe you saw something in the stands. Maybe you saw somebody smiling, or you saw somebody frowning, or you saw somebody yelling, or the referee said something to you, or something happened externally outside of you that you noticed that got you into that zone. And maybe, probably, is a combination of several things, internal and external. You need to think of what were the triggers that led to you getting into that state. So first of all, think of what the state was. Think of that great state where you were just on point and you were like unstoppable. Then the second thing is, what were the triggers that led to you being unstoppable, internal and external? And the third thing is, you need to start working on recreating those triggers. How can you think of what all those triggers are, write them down if you need to, and then work on how you can recreate that moment, those triggers. So if it was somebody talking trash to you, of course you can't just make somebody talk trash, because then you know they faking even if you tell them to do it. So you can do something like think of someone talking trash to you, or imagine somebody in the stands talking trash to you, or whatever it was. Maybe it was a certain song that you heard. Maybe it was a certain beat. Maybe it was a certain artist. Maybe it was a picture. Recreate those things in a way that's as simple as it can be for you, whatever your situation is. And once you get to recreating those and you get into that mental state, now you know what it is. Now you know what the trigger is. So what you want to do is package it up, figuratively speaking. Package up those triggers in a way that you can call on them every time you want to get yourself into that zone. So it might even be off the court. Maybe you need to do some homework and you get that trigger. All of a sudden you just start doing the homework better than you have been doing it for an hour. You get it all done in 10 minutes. Or maybe it's your workouts. You just don't seem to have the right energy at the end of your workouts. But if you can call on those triggers, all of a sudden you can do it without any struggle. It's like you got energy. You feel like you could go another 3 hours because your energy is so high. Those are the triggers. Because understand, everyone, that the physical follows the mental. Whatever it is you're thinking in your brain, your body will follow suit. So even if all of you have been in a situation where you feel like you ain't have no energy at all, but then something happens that gives you like a spark mentally, and all of a sudden physically you got all this energy, you just got this rush of energy out of nowhere. Or a day where you didn't really get that much sleep the night before, so you like, damn, I might drag through this whole day because I didn't get enough sleep. But certain things happen in the day to give you energy. It might be a certain person, it might be a certain place you're at, it might be something that happens, maybe something great, some great news that came your way, maybe a certain people you're hanging with, and you get energy from those things, and all of a sudden you go through the whole day as if you got a full night's sleep, like you got twice as much sleep as you actually did. That's the physical following the mental. Your body will do whatever your mind tells it to do. So once you learn how to trigger your mind in certain ways, you can control your body through that. But you got to figure out, first of all, you got to think of when were the times you were in that zone. Second of all, what were the triggers that led to it? And third of all, recreate those triggers so that you can do it whenever you feel like it. That's all there is to it. Now that's work, but you got to do it. Nobody can do it for you. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Checking out this video. Make sure you follow all my top content up here. Follow me on all your favorite social networks right over here. And make sure you are subscribed to catch all the new content I put on this channel every single day.